Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody that is very temperamental. This is somebody who probably doesn't rely on logic as much as they do reactionary behavior. So we've got an overly defensive person who gets, I think, insecure and lashes out at others. This could be your boss. This could be somebody you're related to. This could be your partner. But it feels to me like their moodiness or their unpredictable energy is leading to some pretty difficult situations. They're making a mess for themselves, basically, because they are so all over the place and they can't stick to a goal or a commitment. Hello, Key Controller. Hello, Upper Echelon. Hello, Holy Yoga. Hello, Tiana. Hello, Banks. How we doing? Let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chanting. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So this is a test. We'll see how this goes today. But thank you, everyone, for your patience with me this week with the internet issues. Thank you also to those of you that have voted whether or not I should set up a membership. It's looking like I will probably do a $3.99 membership option. And those of you that are interested, I'll make sure to get you very specific details. My commitment to you is I do not want it to feel like it's not enough value for you. So I want to make sure that I have a good pulse on that before I do anything. That being said, if you would like a personal reading, you can also do that. And my email address is in the description box below. It is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. We're going to dive in and see what else we've got going on as far as this person who is maybe just a little bit selfish, or maybe just a little bit, I think they struggle to deal with their emotions, to be honest. I suppose a lot of people do. All right, what else do we have? Thank you, Kiki. What do we have? High Priestess in the reverse. And the Nine of Cups. I do feel this is somebody who's selfish. They think about things from their own standpoint. They don't really have the patience to be thinking about how things impact others. This is somebody who doesn't necessarily plan ahead. They don't have a lot of capacity to think about 1 year, 5 year, 10 year. It's what I want and what do I want now, right? Ooh, good luck with that, Tiana. What else do we have? Ten of Swords in the reverse. Three of Spheres, which is the Three of Pentacles, and the Fool. This is looking to me like we've got somebody who has fallen into the wrong crowd, or they've befriended people that maybe they assumed they could lead, or like it wasn't going to be a problem. They're not going to impact who I am. But falling in with this crowd has had a negative impact on this person. There's something here that they've done, pursued, or agreed to. And I do feel like there are consequences. The fact that they have agreed to work with these people or hang out with these people, it opens this individual up to some sort of risk. What else? Eight of Spheres or the Eight of Pentacles. It does feel to me like we've got somebody who might be getting catfished, might be dealing with a bunch of people that are very fake around them. But it feels like it's all It's all about how you fit into the community, how people are seeing you, being seen as like respected or successful. What else? Chariot and the Lovers. This is something that I don't think, what am I going to call you? I'll call you the Chariot. Whoever this individual is that has been, not necessarily making the best of decisions. They also came out as the High Priestess in the reverse, so they're probably not listening to their intuition. This is somebody who does stuff and doesn't really think about it, right? Talking before you speak, taking chances before you read the fine print, signing contracts before you know who's the contract with. We've got somebody who made rash decisions, and as a result, now they are faced with a difficult conundrum. How are you going to improve the situation? How are you going to get out of this problem? How are you going to extricate? I feel like extrapolate is more like data. How are you going to pull yourself out of this weird community that you've somehow fallen into? If you've ever seen the movie 13, I haven't for a very long time, but for whatever reason, it's in my mind. I do feel like it's kind of like that because we got teenage girls up to no good. We get influenced by those that are around us to whatever degree, right? Some people it's a higher degree, but that's why you have to be so selective about who you actually interact with. And I feel this person has been just like inviting everybody in. Let's all be friends. And now they have people that they can't trust that are, I think, causing some issues. 7 of Spheres or 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands in the reverse, 6 of Wands in the reverse. Yeah. There's something this person's gotten involved in and they should not have. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. For some of you, this is substance abuse, partying too much, or criminal behavior like a robbery. I'm hanging out with these people. I want them to think that I'm cool, and I just like make a choice because that's the choice that they're making too. Would I have made that choice on my own? No. But I want to be one of this group, right? I want to impress my new friends, or I want to, not be different. This is the Tarot of the Nile. What else do we have? It's dangerous. 3 of Cups. High Priestess in the reverse again. 3 Wands in the reverse. Yes, these are things this person would not do, except for they are being influenced by their friends. For many of you, this is about a teenager. Could be your sibling, could be your child, could be you. This is somebody who wants to be validated, wants to be a part of the cool crowd, right? Mean Girls. But this could also be in a workplace or like a kind of competitive community where you don't want to be different. That's not a community I would want to be a part of, by the way. I don't even know what it's a reference to. Is it Toy Story? The One of Us? We could also make comparisons to the board, right? If you are also a Trekkie. We've got people who feel like everyone should be doing the same thing, or there's a lot of pressure to make the same decisions. And that's why we have this High Priestess in the reverse, or the Chariot, who's moving forward or making bad decisions as a result of that influence. Lovers in the reverse. Six of Wands in the reverse. Again, Seven of Wands in the reverse. We had the Seven of Wands in the reverse at the beginning. We had the Six of Wands in the reverse right here. And we had the Lovers in the upright right here. This is energy that keeps coming back up. I do something, I want to be a part of this group, or I want these friends to think I'm cool. And I do that, but then I wish that I wasn't doing that, but then I still want to be a part. They're feeling pulled all over the place. They're feeling like they have to be cool. So they have to, go along with what everybody else is doing, but they don't like what's happening. Things are getting worse. Something has them worried that maybe they shouldn't have connected with these individuals. It's a plan. And it's like this person's supposed to be the lookout. So we're going to steal a car, or we're going to steal this money, or, we're going to beat someone up. And this person's like, not really interested, but they feel like they have to go along with it. So I do feel like whoever resonates with the High Priestess in the reverse Chariot energy, this is somebody who is overly influenced by their friends, struggling a little bit because there is basically a request for them to do something they're not comfortable with doing. For many of you, it is a lookout, or somebody who is involved in like the beginnings, or like the outside element of a pretty big problem, or maybe even an operation, selling drugs, something criminal. They're not sure how to handle this. King of Swords, Ace of Wands in the reverse. If I follow my intuition, if I listen to that voice in my head that tells me this is a bad idea, then I sacrifice all the work I put into being friends with these people. Am I going to give up that community that I've finally established? Or can I just kind of ignore my morals for a little bit? Hello, Khalil. How's it going? Hello, Miss G. Hello, Miss Princess. Hermit and the Four of Cups in the reverse. This person decides either they can't make any changes, they'll just kind of try to stand at the back, right? Not get too involved. But I don't think they leave this community, and then somebody shows up knocking on the door. Somebody enters the chat and they have questions. They know something's going on. The Hermit is somebody who investigates. And the Four of Cups in the reverse can be about curiosity. There's somebody asking questions, and it's not good. Whoever these people are that made an illegal decision, who pursued something criminal and got this person involved, now they're under investigation, or there's questions because there is a reason to suspect there was a problem or some breaking of the law. What else do we have? This is the Morgan Greer. Eight of Cups. Ten of Swords in the reverse. Ooh, okay. For many of you, this person who gets dragged into criminal behavior is left holding the bag, made to seem more guilty than they actually were. They feel a sense of betrayal. It's like if they were breaking in, everybody ran from the cops, and the only one who got caught was this person who was just like trying to help their friends, didn't really come up with the idea. The wrong person is getting like the brunt of the punishment or the heat, right? Ten of Cups in the reverse, Two of Swords in the reverse. This all traces back to somebody feeling like, I don't belong, nobody likes me, I don't have any friends, so I need to do whatever I can do to have that sense of community, even if it means I have to make some decisions I don't really want to make. But this has consequences, like maybe jail time. Devil in the reverse. Feel like this detective or this hermit, whoever is out here looking for the truth, feel like they can tell this high priestess in the reverse is not the one who came up with it, not the person behind the strategy. Devil in the reverse and the magician. This is somebody else's signature, or this is something that's been going on for too long. Why are you caught up with these people? Why are you hanging out with somebody that makes bad decisions? Why are you trying to take the rap for somebody else? Hey, Tim, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Khalil, I think that depends on your situation. But not all criminal organizations are gangs. So we've got the Page of Swords in the reverse, and the Ten of Wands in the reverse is clarifying our Ten of Swords in the reverse. And the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. This is like group mentality. I can't say anything, or I can't decide anything, or I've got to make sure that I align with everybody else. I have to be one of the group. I can't do something different. For many of you, this is, I'm not willing to answer your questions, police officer, because I can't betray the people that I'm hanging out with. Even though I feel like this hermit is saying, I know it's not you. I know there's somebody else who did this, and you were along for the ride, and you're going to take all the consequences for these other people that were doing it because you don't want to tell me who they are. So they're put in a very difficult situation where they agreed to go along with something, and now they're caught up as the primary target in an investigation. That sounds pretty great, upper echelon. Also, there's a few of you out there I own email to. Please be patient with me. I will do that today. I had to get through. It took forever to upload personal readings yesterday. So it was a little bit stressful with the slow uploads. Hello, Matt. I know. And the song keeps coming up for me too. So look, we've got somebody who I think planned a crime of some sort. A heist, if you want. They made this plan, and they did have like no problem just abandoning whoever this person is so that they would take the heat for it. They had not great intentions. So I feel like what we have here is an investigator or a detective who is saying, you know what, you can protect this person that really did come up with this idea, or, you know, was the architect of this plan. But just remind yourself they didn't do anything to protect you. They ran away and they're totally okay with you having all of the problem while you're sitting here protecting them. So, kind of a difficult conversation for this person because I don't know that they really thought about it in those terms, and it makes them feel kind of silly. Hello, Carrie. How's it going? I feel that. What's up, Lemonade? So we've got enchantment, captivated, romance, charm, dazzling, fairy tales, and surprise. So I do have to say there is something here that comes through as either I want to be with you or I want to be like you. There's this deep admiration or like, man, you really like know how to get people to like you. And I remember that being like how I felt about that movie 13. I can't remember character names or anything, but the chick who was a little bit more of a bad influence had this like magical energy. I think, is she the chick who was also in Twilight? Tiana, if you're still on here, I know you would know this. Nikki something? Is it Nikki Reed? Can't remember. But there are people who have these charming ways about them. The kinds of people who start like cults and stuff. This is a very influential person. It's because they know how to kind of manipulate. We did have them come out as the magician. They've got gifts, but they use them the wrong way. They use them to control people as opposed to empowering people. That right there is a huge ticket to having, like, actually having good karma. Are you going to use your gifts to disadvantage others or help others? Are you going to use it to be selfish or are you going to change things for the better? This is somebody who uses their charm, uses their skill set to entrap people and then get whatever they can from the situation. So I feel like they're about to lose those gifts. Whatever they had that enabled them to be very convincing, they might lose that. There are people seeing through this magician, perhaps because they were willing to let somebody else deal with the legal consequences of their own actions. We have extraterrestrial, channel, galactic, star races, light codes, ancient origins, downloads, claircognizance, flashes, information, and deliver. This magician person who has been the architect of a plan and felt like they were quite successful, but was, obviously willing to throw somebody under the bus. They have benefited from astute observation skills, a strong intuition. They pick up on information that they're not going to receive anymore. They're getting cut off. I'm doing well. Thank you, Carrie. Hello. How's it going, Dr. Emery? Could be. So they may feel like somebody else is dealing with the consequences of their actions because somebody's literally maybe in a jail cell or getting, arrested, but they are getting consequences. They are losing their skills. You can't really call customer support for that, right? Hi, yes. Is God there? I just want to know why people like me less. Why am I less charming? What happened? Was there a software update or something? You can't really talk about trying to, you can't get angry about that. They can't solve for that. I'm not going to lie, for some of you, this is a person who is able to get people to do things for them because of their looks, and something's going to happen to make them much less attractive. Yeah. I do feel this is somebody who has had skills that may, approach mediumship or even being psychic. They're losing those skills or those gifts because of the choices they've made. You chose to manipulate or take advantage, and as a result, now those gifts are gone. I do feel like it's more than one gift, and I do feel like one of those is somebody's attractiveness. So they think somebody else is taking the heat. They're wrong. Hi, Voyager. Hey, Hayden. How's it going? Queen of Swords. Yeah, what kind of phone would God have, do you think? I'd like to picture it as one of those that like hangs on the wall. Like Queen of Swords. Maybe it's like what are those called? The rotary? No. Yes? I don't know, you guys. No whammies. So we've got the Queen of Swords, the Fool, and the Empress. I feel like this Queen of Swords is our investigator, our hermit, the person who knows that somebody else orchestrated this decision, this crime, this plan. They feel like the person in custody or the person who gets caught, they're just the flavor of the week. Not to be like super dismissive, but they feel that this is somebody who has just started dating someone or just made friends with these people. They're like, no, there's no way that you're the person that is like at fault for this choice or this plan. You got to tell me who actually came up with the plan. Who's this person that wanted to let you take the heat for this? Hello, Planet Brad. How's it going? 8 of Wands in the reverse. Wheel of Fortune. Three of Pentacles and the Lovers. This is looking more and more like a setup, like a scam. For many of you, this is a teenager or kind of like a lost soul who really wanted to feel like they belong. They fall in with the wrong crowd, either because there's a romantic connection or a platonic one, but they want to belong is the main thing. There's insecurity here, and belonging is what they want, but they're promised something that is not real, or it's like, you can help us do the work, but then we're going to cut you out of the, the prize. So the Queen of Swords or the Hermit is saying you've got a choice. If you know what this person was actually willing to do, if you know this person does not care about you, are you still going to protect them? Because they were cool with you doing the work, but not getting any kind of benefit from it. Hello, Shane. How are you doing? We've got the 5 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, King of Wands in the reverse. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so the title is about like the ringleader. This is the King of Wands in the reverse. This is the person who has an enchanting way about them, or has, charming way about them, and has gotten this high priestess in the reverse, chariot individual to join in on this plan or roll with them, right? But when the positives come in, when the gain or the winnings show up, it's excluding that new person. So this King of Wands in the reverse is the person who is very unpredictable, in part because they do want people to look up at them, but they're also selfish. I think the whole group might have some issues with insecurity, if I'm honest. They all want to belong to something, but they're letting somebody manipulate them. Ace of Swords, the World, and the Knight of Swords. So back to perhaps an interrogation room, wherever we have this high priestess in the reverse, the chariot individual, the person who gets caught, right? They see proof, possibly an audio clip or a text message. Maybe the person's sitting in the next room and they got that, weird mirror situation, and they get to literally watch this romantic interest of theirs or best friend say, I don't care about them, send them to jail. They see proof that the person they were willing to cover for was not at all willing to return that same loyalty, and it makes them start to change their mind. If I am really in this on my own, if I don't have friends like I thought I did, then how do I handle the situation differently? What am I going to do now? This is the situations deck. Hey, Illuminati, how are you doing? Ooh, got it. So look, I do feel this Hermit or Queen of Swords, the detective person, has integrity. They want to protect the individual who's not truly guilty, the one who is just kind of like hanging out. What they really want is, what do we call you? The magician, the person who has orchestrated this. And I do feel like there's a future plan. What was that movie? Was it Point Break? With was it Keanu Reeves and the dancing dude? Swayze? Yeah? Help me out here. Hey AJ, how are you doing? I feel like there's something here about you were thrown under the bus for something that you got caught doing, and it wasn't even really your idea, but you know that there's going to be another robbery. You know there's going to be another problem in the future. We will extend protection to you. We will, pull back those charges on you if you help us catch the real criminals. Because something else is going down. Just tell us when, where. This is the major choice somebody faces. That's funny, Hayden. What else do we have? Cleansing, meditation, clearing space, removing negativity, and unconditional, genuine, certain love. We can protect you from the charges we feel shouldn't really be on you if you help us expose who's really doing the crimes, who's really behind it. But either they feel like they're in love with this ringleader, or they feel like they want to be them. And that kind of touches back on that movie 13. I feel like there was something here about like the one girl. Was it Evan Rachel Wood? Feel like there was some element of, I'm not good enough. I want to be you. So I'm going to do whatever I can, like dressing wise or makeup or how I act to try to be you because I think you're so cool. This is a challenge for somebody because it's like, hey, if we look at this black and white, we can like tell this person doesn't care about you and you have a chance to not have legal consequences for something you didn't really do if you're willing to be honest about this person that you think you're in love with, this person that you admire, this person that you think is your best friend, this person who is okay with throwing you under the bus, right? Right? So we've got escapade, vacation, hideaway, adventure, and trash, discarding, throwing out. So while somebody's sitting here, maybe in a jail cell or an interrogation room, while they have been, thrown under the bus, like you take the rap, somebody else is out here on like a vacation or living it up. They're not even thinking about the person they let get arrested. So maybe one person loves the other, but it doesn't seem to be bi-directional. It doesn't seem to be coming back their way. Yeah. So maybe they thought this was a more substantial connection, but it's looking to them like they've been kind of played for a fool. This individual maybe just wanted to have a little bit of fun, or maybe even planned for them to get caught. What was that movie? Broke Down Palace. It felt like they were targeted, right? You'll take the rap and everything will be fine. But there's somebody who's been looking for information. I feel like this is the Hermit, that Queen of Swords, and they find out this is not the person who should be responsible for this crime. We know it's somebody else. So they're doing whatever they can to leverage this individual, the High Priestess in the reverse, to catch the person who really is the problem. This is the Kipper. What else do we have? We got a courtroom there. Adjudication. I know what we have written on paper. I know we could charge this person with this crime, but there was a change here. There was somebody else who's actually responsible, and there's somebody who is going to do this again. This is, I think, I don't want you to actually be taking responsibility for something that was someone else's plan. So tell us what's going on in the future. Tell us how to actually catch, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your best friend, and then your charges will go away. Family room in the reverse. Mature woman in the reverse. I do feel there's some reckless behavior, some partying, some anger issues, maybe even some competitive energy between the group of people that work together to do these things. For some of you, it could literally just be the Magician and the High Priestess in the reverse who got picked up. But for many of you, I feel like it's more like a group of 3 or 4 or 5. And immaturity is certainly something that binds that group together. But with the family room in the reverse, it really makes me think we've got individuals who don't have a lot of people to turn to. I don't have a great support system for my family, or I grew up and, I lost my parents. These are individuals who kind of cling to each other or are, like a stand-in family. I don't have that support elsewhere, so I count on these individuals. The problem is there's not a whole lot of trust. We have courtship in the reverse. There's not a lot of trust between the folks in this little group, but they also really don't like outsiders. And so if we have somebody who is trying to encroach on that crew or that group by trying to date like the ringleader, there might have been some pretty not happy energy from the people that had been working with this person for a long time. I'm not about to let somebody waltz in here and steal my place as like right-hand man just because you are, hot. I think there was some pretty competitive energies here, and somebody wanted to see the high priestess in the reverse get like punted, right? Man, I should make a movie with this. All right, this is what's the news. What else do we have? Key player and paranoid. Yeah. You say you're cool, you're saying you want to be a part of our group, but you haven't really proven yourself. We don't trust you. These are insecure people who want to be a part of something, but they may also kind of like being able to keep people out of it. Fed up over it, not having it, and frustrated. Detective and chained. Underneath detective, it says snooping, digging for dirt, accusations, and codependency, unhealthy attachment weighed down. I really feel like this is like number 2. Who does number 2 work for? This is so oddly appropriate. Really, though, who does number 2 work for? There is a competitive energy between like a love interest or a new best friend and the person who was previously the closest to the magician. It's like the ringleader decided they had a new best friend or decided they didn't really like their best friend as much now that they found somebody that they were attracted to. We have somebody who wanted to oust the high priestess in the reverse because they felt like they were getting too close to the magician. And so they might have done something to make sure that the high priestess in the reverse was the one that was caught by the cops or caught red-handed doing something they shouldn't have. Spilling the beans. Revealing secrets, cat's out of the bag, untrustworthy. So this detective, the hermit, lets the high priestess in the reverse know that person was not going to have your back. That person was just fine with you going to jail. Hey, Jess, how are you doing? What are you asking, AJ? Are you talking about Voyager? Sometimes you have to be shown from somebody else that the connection you feel strongly about is not as awesome as you thought it was. So this is maybe a little bit difficult for them to go through, but I do think that they're getting valuable information to help them decide what to do now that they're kind of, stranded. This is the Gilded Reverie. Hey, Laura, how are you doing? Number 6, the clouds, and number 30, the lilies. So I do feel for most of you, this is somebody who's able to get out of this difficult situation because the detective has a pretty good pulse on what's actually going on or who is actually at fault or, engineering these things. Even though they may request some assistance in terms of trapping someone or figuring out what's going to happen next, I do feel like they're able to see that maybe they believed in someone that they shouldn't have, or they felt protected by someone who didn't really care about them. And that gamble or that risk that they took to be a part of that community is not really worth it. So definitely, I think an important lesson for them, but also nice to see that they might have a chance to not get in trouble for somebody else's actions. So let's finish it off with knocking something on the ground with the zodiac fortune telling cards. What else do we have? Be careful of your health. You are going to move to a new house. Do not give up hope. And you are a great leader. So don't let other people lead you when you are a natural born leader. Like sometimes you might have to have like a boss and they like tell you things are due at like 5 p.m. or whatever. Go ahead, do that. That's fine. Gotta make money, gotta buy food and stuff. But just know you are meant to be a leader. So don't be letting people manipulate you. You're too smart for that. All right. I love you all. Please help me out with a like or a subscribe. And I hope to see you on the next reading. Doodles.